So usually what we women do, we endure the hard stuff. We go through it all. We check out whilst we're still in the marriage. By the time you decide, now I'm leaving, you'll be okay. So, but then later on, I told myself, if it wasn't working for almost 10 years, maybe it's not worth it. I have to leave. I'm still alive. And because I was now having health problems, got on anxiety medication and stuff because of the problems I was having. I did a
Oh,
master's in food processing systems and
okay.
technologies at the University of Zimbabwe. If you look at the amount of cancers we're having these days, most of them, they actually come from what we're eating. What we
Okay.
eat determines our health statuses.
Behind every woman is a story of courage, purpose, and becoming. Inspiring and celebrating women, one story at a time. This is Feminine Energy.
Welcome back to Feminine Energy, the space where we celebrate the women who are quietly building extraordinary lives. This channel exists to inspire and to celebrate women. And today I'm joined by a beautiful guest, Connie. Connie.
Hello, hi Tsitsi. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
So, Connie is a 32-year mother of two beautiful girls. I live in Harare. I'm a single mother. Professionally, I am a food scientist. Right now, it's just Connie and her kids.
Thank you so much and welcome, Connie. So can you tell us what makes you happy and what makes you sad?
That's a broad question. I think right now, what brings me joy is my kids. Being able to take care of my kids, being able to provide for them, and being able to be in a space where I can say I am independent, I can afford to make a change, a difference in the world. Because every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, go be someone out there. So just being able to excel in everything that I do in my career, I think it brings me joy. Well, what makes me sad? I think failure. I don't like failing at things. Yeah. In every aspect of my life, whether relationships, work, school, I don't like failing.
Okay, so how old are the kids?
My oldest is 9. She's turning 10 this year. And the youngest is 7.
Okay. Oh, so for the women watching you who don't know you yet, can you describe your energy? Are you an introvert or an extrovert or somewhere in between?
I think I am somewhere in between. Depends with the mood. I like going out sometimes. I'm an extrovert. I like meeting people, different characters, being in different spaces. And then there are times when I just like being at home, watching movies and stuff. So, yeah, so I think I might be somewhere in between. I'm not, you can't call me an introvert.
That's nice.
And my energy, I think I am that one person who always has the most energy. Happy girl, naturally. I think I am a happy girl. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the energy I bring when there's a group of people, when the vibe is low. I'm sure most times I'll be like, oh, I wish Connie was here. So, yeah.
Oh, so you said you're a food scientist. So
Yes.
can you just take us back, like the process of becoming a food scientist, like how you made it?
Okay, so I did food science and technology at CAT. That's when I had my first degree in food
In
science and
Zimbabwe.
technology. Yeah, in Zimbabwe. And then after that, it took me some time before
Okay.
I could get a job. You know, Zimbabwe being Zimbabwe, getting a job is not that easy. And then I think I stayed at home for about 2 years. And then later on, I got a job, started working for this nutrition project. So I then started working for this project, UNICEF project, as a nutrition coordinator. And then 6 months down the line, the project ended and I was back home again. And then around 2019, 2020, that was when I was working for UNICEF. And then 2021, I was unemployed. And then I was like, you know what? I need to do something with my time. Then I went for my master's degree at University of Zimbabwe.
Oh, you
At
did
that time, I
masters.
wasn't working. Yeah, I did. I did a
Wow.
master's in food processing systems and
Okay.
technologies at the University of Zimbabwe. And then afterwards, that's when I met my former boss. And that's when she was like, I'm looking for someone at my workplace. And then she took me, trained me, and I've been there for the past 5 years. I work as a food safety officer. So I've been there for it's now 4 years.
Wow, that's really good. So for how long have you been single?
So it's almost 2 years now.
Okay. How did the kids take it?
They were still very young. They're still young. They don't understand these things. But I think they've managed to handle it quite well because I have managed to try and make sure I give them stability. I give them a stable home. I try to make sure they've got everything they need for school, for everything. I think they've really adjusted quite well. A few days ago, my daughter wrote me a note and she was like, "Oh, thank you. You're the best mom. We have a beautiful home. Thank you for that." And I was like, "Oh, at least I'm doing something right."
Wow, that's great. So
Yeah.
are you co-parenting?
Not exactly. Not exactly. I'm the
Okay.
one who lives with the kids, who takes care of the kids. He sees them once in a while, not that often,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay,
But
so is it like you explained it to the kids? Did you try to sit with them and explain to them so that at least they will understand what's happening?
really, so they asked me at some point, "Mama, why can't we go and live with Daddy? Can we go back and live with him?" And I was like, "You know what, girls? When you want to see your dad, he'll always be there. You just tell me, and I can go drop you off, or he can come and get you. But for now, we need to live separately so that we can be able to raise you peacefully, because they saw some of the fights we were having, and I told them we're trying to avoid that. So let's try me living with you, and you can see him whenever you want to."
Okay, meaning the environment wasn't conducive for the kids.
Yeah, it was becoming very toxic. So I just decided,
Okay.
I think I need to go somewhere where I can create a peaceful environment for the kids. Because as much as we might say we want to stay together and raise the kids, but if they're seeing you fight or almost every day, then you're not doing them any good. It's better they see me happy, their dad happy, us not fight, but separately.
Okay, so how did you feel, or how did you manage to cope after separating? Are you managing well?
I think I'm managing quite well because it took me time to get myself mentally prepared for it before I even left. So usually what we women do, we endure the hard stuff. We go through it all. We check out whilst we're still in the marriage. By the time you decide, now I'm leaving, you'll be okay. So at some point, I would question myself. I would be like, what if I made a bad decision? What if I was supposed to stay and hang on? Maybe things were going to change. But then later on, I told myself, if it wasn't working for almost 10 years, maybe it's not worth it. I have to leave. I'm still alive. And because I was now having health problems, I got on anxiety medication and stuff because of the problems I was having. That's when I decided I need to choose myself, find peace. And if we can get back together later on, then okay. But if we can't, then still okay.
Okay. How old were you?
I was 21.
Sweet. Okay, so is it like at one point you also thought like how other women think, like I'll just stay here for my kids?
Well, honestly, at first I was worried about what people would say afterwards, what my family would say, what the relatives would say, how people would see me. You know how society sees single mothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at first I was worried about that. But then later on, I told myself, if I am going to worry about what people say and not worry about how I am, how I feel, am I happy, then I will always be miserable. So that's why I say I had to choose myself and say, I have to leave. I just woke up one day and I'm like, I'm leaving. I will live with nothing. I will just go with my kids. And then I left. So
Yeah.
my mental health, I did it for my mental health.
Okay, so did you face any judgment from family, church, or friends?
No, not really. My friends, I have got amazing friends. Like, I don't have many friends, but the few friends that I have, they knew everything. They had been there for me through the hard stuff and the good stuff. So they kind of were glad I finally decided to do that on my own. There's this one friend of mine that always say, "Kana ingwaya kagarira chipikiri kana chakurwadza inosimuka." And I'll just wig. We're not going to tell you to leave. So at one point I called her and I was like, "Chipikiri tazorwadza."
Yeah, because you know what? At times, you tend to advise someone to leave, and then they'll leave just for today or this week, and next week they are back together again. So it's
And I'll
really
be blaming
difficult
you.
to say. Yeah. So you just need to leave a person to decide for herself, and then to live by herself without you telling her what to do. So yeah, the fact that you did it by yourself, it really means chipikiri changa.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room now. At what point did you start thinking about dating again?
Honest answer.
Yes.
I think soon afterwards.
Was it not something?
Not really. When you've stayed for long, yearning for love, attention, to just be treated like a woman and not just be seen like, you end up treating each other like roommates. So you develop this desire to be seen, to be wanted, to be loved. And then
Loved, yeah.
yes. So I was like, I'm not dating because I want to be married. I want to get married now. I don't have plans to get married. I'm not even sure I would want to get married again. It's something that I can decide with time. But I was like, I just need someone to share my life with, someone to talk to, someone to be a friend. So yeah, it was after, like, didn't take much time.
Okay. So is it like sometimes when somebody approaches you, do you feel like who is going to want me as a divorced woman with 2 kids? You know, like what the society says. How do you feel about that one?
Well, honestly, I don't think I'm damaged just because I'm divorced. I think the chances of me finding love, I still have got chance. But there are other people who might think because she's had kids, she's been married before, who would want her. And some men might try to actually take advantage of that. They will come to you, approach you, try to make it seem as if they're accepting you like that, as if you're damaged. But then I feel like I'm still lovable. I am lovable. There is hope for me. I just don't have to rush
Okay,
it.
there's a lot. Yes, there's a lot of pressure out there in the society. Some people they say you need to heal first, don't rush. While others say get back out there, you're not getting any younger. Like, how do you take these advices? Which one would you take, to heal first, or just to get up, go out there since you're not getting any younger?
Age is really not an issue. But I think when it comes to matters of that, it's not a one size fits all kind of thing. People heal differently. People handle situations differently. So you realize for someone like me, when I left, it didn't take me much time to heal because I told myself I tried. It did not work out. It's not my fault. Maybe we're just two people who could not make it work. So I don't have anything to heal. I'm not sick. I just need to get up and go face every day as it comes. Because there are times when it's hard. When you think about the kind of marriage you wanted, and on a bad day, you'll be like, how come it didn't work? I put my all in it. Is there anything wrong with me? But then maybe it's just for a short period, and then afterwards you get up and go. Some days you're good, some days you're not. But then that's life.
Did you ever blame yourself?
No. Okay. Not blame, but then sometimes when you look at things, you'd be like, oh, well, I could have handled this differently. I could have responded differently, but I don't think there's much that I could have done that could have saved the marriage. So I don't blame myself. I don't
Okay,
blame
so
myself.
with the experience that you now have with marriage, would you say that there are some red flags that you noticed prior to the marriage that you ignored?
Yeah, you've been loved. There are so many. I think the problem is when you meet someone and then you fall in love, because I was really in love. You fall in love, you try to be the person that they want you to be, or that you think they want you to be. And then in the process you lose yourself because all you care about now is pleasing someone, being the perfect wife and all. So the red flags were there. I just chose to ignore them. And sometimes after you get married, especially when you're young, you'll be like, oh, it's supposed to be that's a marriage, and you do everything, you try to conform to everything. But then later on, you realize as you grow older, no, this is not right. This was not supposed to be like this. And then that's when the fighting begins. Usually, that's when the fighting begins.
So, what advice do you want to give to women out there who are probably in the dating phase? They are noticing the red flags, but they are choosing to ignore the red flags. What do you want to say to them?
You can never find a perfect person. No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. You have got your flaws, but you choose what you can live with. I see the red flags. Is this something I can live with? If it is, then yeah, at some point you'll be like, those are no, and then you just ignore, right? Because it's not something that gets to you like that much. But then if it's something that you can't live with, something that you don't like, do not try to settle for that. But I was here. Stop making excuses and saying, maybe it'll change, maybe it will go this way, maybe I can manage, maybe I should do this. No, if it doesn't work for you, leave whilst it's early. Choose what you can live with and what you can't live with.
You know, there's this saying which says, "Shiri gariro wayo haichinji." Is it? So do you know, sometimes we enter into these marriages. You might have noticed the red flags. Yeah, you choose to ignore and say probably that person is going to change.
Okay.
Do you think people change in a positive way?
Well, I think if someone loves you, or when there's love, you get to a compromise. But there are other things that you can't change in a person. There are things that you can change, like small habits, you can change those, or some of them you can live with. But then there are things that you can't change about a person. If someone is not loving, someone is not emotionally available, if they're just naturally like that, how do you change them?
Wow,
if someone is
that's
not
very profound.
is not kind, how do you change someone who's not kind and make them kind? So if kindness is something that you're looking for in a partner, then that's good. But if you see someone who's not kind and you want kindness, it's better to just leave.
Yeah, that's deep. After separation, you need to heal. Do you think you have managed to heal already?
Uh,
And if so, how did you your journey to healing? Like, what did you do to help yourself to heal?
like I said earlier, I don't think I needed much healing after I had left because I had
Okay.
done part of it whilst I was still there before I had left. So I think in terms of healing, I am okay. But then there might be triggers. For example, you're dating and then you meet a guy who has some of the traits that you saw in your ex, right? Some of them might be triggers. Then you realize, no, maybe I haven't healed. So I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm okay. I'm at a point where I have peace. I'm happy with myself. Like I wake up, I'm always positive. I'm always happy until something happens. I wake up, I am happy. I've got peace. My kids are okay. So I think I'm doing quite well when it comes to healing. I don't think about it anymore or miss anything about the relationship anymore.
Okay, so have you ever had a situation like probably you're dating someone and then, like you said, you find the traits and you be like, I've seen this before happening. Like, do you continue having that relationship or you immediately break up with that person as soon as you meet the traits that your ex had?
I leave. I don't even stay. So it recently happened to me. I realized, okay, I've given this person so many chances, try to make them see, but still they can't change this. They are not who I want them to be. They're not emotionally available enough for me. I want someone who's all over me, who wants to be with me, who shows they want to be with me. So when I try to confront them and they didn't give me an answer that was satisfying, I was like, okay, fine, we don't have to do this. And then that was it. So when I see something that I don't like, I am not willing to settle. I will leave because I cannot keep on making the same mistake twice, all in the name of wanting to be married or someone's. So I have to choose myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really deep. There's this saying which says marriage is hard as well as being single is also hard. So you need to choose your heart. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that's very true. It's my first time hearing that. Yeah. So I think when you've experienced them both, then you can choose your heart. Because for someone who's married, they wish they would be single. They'll think it's easy being single. And then for someone who's single, they want to be married. They wish they were married. So if you've experienced both situations, then yeah, you can choose your heart. Would I rather have a hard life whilst married or single? I think you'd have to choose your heart.
Yes. So where do you meet these guys? Is it like on dating apps, at church, or through friends?
Well, I've never joined a dating app.
Okay.
Usually it's through friends, maybe at work. I haven't dated that much. Like so far, I think it's been one relationship, one proper relationship. Yeah, through friends. You meet people through friends.
Okay, so let's say you're dating now. At what point do you tell a man that you have kids? On the first date or maybe after some time?
It's not something I'm ashamed of. It's not something I can't hide my kids. So immediately you meet me, I tell you I've got 2 beautiful kids. I'm a mother, and I'm proud of that.
How do they take it?
Most of them don't mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it depends on the type of guy. I've never met anyone who's had a problem with it.
Okay. I've heard from several people who are single that they face a stigma in the community or even at church. People giving single people names like Urimbana, prostitute, or even at church, they would think that you want to take their husbands away. Have you ever met something like that?
I think, yeah. Okay, I've never felt like that at church because I am a very private person. So most people don't even know I separated with my husband. I just tell people I'm married in most cases because, the idea of keeping on repeating the same thing, trying to explain to people, it becomes very exhausting. So I don't talk about it that much. But yeah, I've felt it once. So I went to an event with a sister and then so the others had their husbands. I was with my sister and her husband. I didn't have a partner there. One of the friends actually was complaining. I was like, who was that? She was playing too close to your husband. Be careful. She might take your husband and stuff. So,
What?
yeah. So they didn't know I was the sister, the little sister. They didn't know, right? But because I was alone, I wasn't with anyone. They didn't know the kind of relationship we have. So it happened, but then it depends on how you take it. I don't have a problem like with it because it doesn't get to me because I know society. Society will always be society. So
Wow. So how did you take that?
I think for a second I was hurt. Then I moved on from it. I was like, that's society. Yeah, I was hurt a bit. What can I do? People have their own different mindsets. You can't change how people think. And usually it's
Yeah.
never about me. And one thing I've noticed, there are people with insecurities and they might want to make it seem like it's about you, but it's honestly not about me or what I can do, but it's about them having their own insecurities. So they will always try to find ways to make them feel like they're superior or they're better than you because they've got their husbands and all. But anyway, we all know people are fighting so many battles behind closed doors. It's not that rosy as it is in front of people. You just have to let it.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you balance it, like being a mom and also being a woman who's dating? Do you struggle balancing the two, or maybe with the guilt when you go out on a date?
No, well, I think because we're now grown-ups, it's not like you have to be with a man every day, see someone every day and stuff. I've got my everyday duties. I've got to work, and after work, I rush home for schoolwork and stuff. I make time for myself to play, but I also have to make sure I balance and make enough time for the kids because we need to do homework every day. So midweek, yeah, it might be difficult because I'm a mother, that comes first. My responsibilities come first. So after that, weekends and stuff, I make time for myself, go and play. I don't feel guilty because I believe as much as I give myself to my kids, I also have to make sure I take care of me and make sure I've got time to play and relax so that I can be a happy mother when I'm back home. So I try to balance.
I've heard stories whereby the mom was a single mom, right? And probably didn't date anymore after a divorce. So when the kids grow up, they tend to blame the kids like, I didn't have time for myself. I
Yeah.
didn't have time to date again simply because I was doing that for you, to an extent that the kids will end up feeling bad. Like, so we are the reason our mom didn't get married again.
Doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah. So you also need to have time for yourself, do what makes you happy, just for you, not only thinking about the kids only, you also need to think about yourself as well. Introducing a new man to the kids, how do you work on that? And do you have to put any boundaries so that the kids will not quickly get attached to that man?
Well, I don't. The thing is, I do not introduce my kids to any man. They don't have to know what I do until maybe
Okay.
when I get to a point like I'm getting married, the man is going to be in our lives forever. Then yeah, maybe. But then now I don't introduce them to anyone. I don't bring anyone home, especially when my kids are around. They don't have to see all that. They are still young. They might not understand it. So
Yeah.
for now, they know nothing about my dating life.
Okay, that's good. So you have dated in your 20s and also now dating in your 30s. Can you compare with that? What has surprised you the most? Dating in this and dating in the 20s. Is there any difference?
So in my 20s, I wasn't dating. I was married by 21. I had already met my husband. So I spent most of my 20s being a wife. So I
Okay.
think the last time I really dated was like when I was 20, 19, 18, going back there. So it's a different experience. It's not the same. When we're young, it's just pure love. The only thing you care about is just loving each other, spending time together and all. You don't really look at much. As long as you're in love, everything else is okay. But now it's different. I am 32. There's so many things that I have to look at, that we all have to look at. And I think it's not that easy now, but it can be nice. It can be more fun if you meet someone that you're compatible. It's actually very fun. You can do whatever you want. You can travel. You can just be free to just enjoy the relationship, unlike when you're young. But then when you're young, it's pure, just love.
So was there a point where you felt like what happened to me is not fair, or probably you blamed God?
So I do not blame God for anything.
Okay, so what would you say is your biggest lesson about love that you wish you had known back then?
Oh, I would be. Well, I think love and money married. In relationship, we have to go beyond speaking of love. Let's get that. We have the same value. It is for kindness. Find the kind of maybe a few of it, even on a birthday, even when you are really getting a man, you fight in a manner that they feel that it is not. It's not a natural speed. So when you're dealing with someone that's not home. So not alone is going to move, find someone else and then what if you want to say? Yeah.
What advice would you give to a divorced woman who is terrified about dating again because probably she feels are too broken?
Girl, look at it. No special. People special. We can't don't let one mistakes determine the rest of the law. When you come on out in just it's always going to always be the law. That's your father time. You need to go the second time in that thing. So because it's not even the law. They're not decided so just do up. You feel and take on yourself the career. And then now we told it. It's not your test. Now your doctors have to choose yourself. Let's see.
Wow, that's fascinating. You know, you need to live to give love a chance over and over again. You may try several times. You just have to keep on doing it until you found somebody who is meant for you. That's really deep. So thank you so much, Connie. That was very profound. And thank you also for sharing your life and being vulnerable with us. You are a proof that divorce is not the end of your story. It is the plot twist that leads to something even greater. So to every woman watching, your past does not disqualify you from a beautiful future. Keep your heart open, yes, and God isn't done with you yet. So that's the wrap for today's story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a woman who needs to hear it today. Thank you so much.